Finally, we have another short one with Squidlit. This is another one where I was struggling for what to have next and saw this on offer on the eShop. As you can see, it's an indie done in the style of an original Game Boy game. I play as Plip and talk to this Squizzard next to where I start. He can't leave the town Blipston, so he has a quest for Plip. The last Squidlit they sent over to that castle in the distance hasn't returned, so I have to go. My main form of movement, aside from walking, is my double jump, where Plip will squirt a little bit of ink to propel himself. When I jump over a few houses and talk to the doctor, it's revealed that only Plip sees things in Game Boy vision. Further on is a chef, who baked loads of muffins for the quest. I start with 3 which represent Plip's health, then the chef catapults the rest across the rest of the game world. And there's a few of Squidlits to talk to too, it's all very cute. After the nice Squidlit fills me on how health works just in case, I go through the door to begin the quest. A Viking Squidlit fills me on how to take out enemies, I just use that inky double jump to squirt on them to take them out. Pressing down while standing also makes you do a little dance. We've got snails, big insects and these things I guess is a sea anemone. After a little bit I reach some waterfalls and have to go underground. It's here I meet my first... I don't even know, looks like a mole carrying a dumbbell on its head. Through the little tunnel and I head up and out to a door. Next screen has me leaving the waterfalls behind and I get a fly pass over me dropping lightning rods. Through another tunnel and I climb up the wall next to it to find the hardest Squidlit of them all. Follow them, there's some trees to jump across and the lightning fly gets me again. Underground there's a caterpillar and some kind of crane thing. When I leave there's a Squirchant, a Squidlit merchant, on his way to Blipston to set up a shop. Next to him is a door leading to a farmer whose land has been taken over by shark killers and unsnails. Unsnails are the snail enemies I've already faced, and the shark killers would be terrifying in real life. So I just have to move forward and make sure I ink every one of them. There's a counter at the top of the screen so you know how many are missing. When I meet up with the farmer again, he rewards me with his hovercraft. It takes me up to a boss, an adult shark killer who's now grown butterfly wings. He can spit acid and fire trios of firewalls. The hovercraft has a built-in ink cannon for me to shoot him with. It's easy to dodge if you hand back and just keep firing until he's dead. Plip then flies to the castle but rams himself into the wall, blowing up the hovercraft. So I land outside. There's a guard at the front telling me no Squidlits are allowed in. I do learn that this castle belongs to Squit Squat, the God Emperor. Apparently Plip doesn't pay his taxes either. Instead, saying yes he is a Squidlit confuses the guard and lets me get past. We now have cute ghosts with their tongues hanging out to add to the enemy list. I just keep walking left to right and descending further into the castle. As I get further down I meet a pyramid-headed thing with a shock rod I think. As I reach the bottom, a prison guard loudly states how he hopes a Squidlit doesn't steal a cell key from him as he sleeps, so of course I take it. I let out a thief Squidlit who was still allowed to keep his huge sack of stolen goods in his cell. There's another guy who was in prison for forgetting to include God Emperor to the end of Squit Squat God Emperor's name. And another who caught her brewing an evil potion. He begs Plip's help in stopping her. He managed to steal another key that opens the locked door next to them. It leads a little further down to another door. The prisoner I freed is there and tells me we need to go to the Royal Library in Castletown. So I head forward a little more, dodging more robots and ghosts until I exit the castle through the other side. I climb this first tree and find a hidden area in the castle wall with muffins where I meet Riverjack, a Squidlit sent here on a stealth mission. He lets me have the muffins since he's fine eating chicken sound in the walls. I enter another area of the castle and start making my way up. That fly tries getting me with lightning rods again, but there's a roof in his way. This is followed by a long drop and hearing the God Emperor's orders to activate the ancestral golem. Instead I take out all the guards and leave the castle fully, going through a door at the end. This leads to what I assume is the ancestral golem. It walks back and forth, opening a little chimney on its head for me to ink down. A few of these takes it out and reveals another door. This leads to Castletown. I meet up with the prisoner I freed who asks if I want to hear his garbage theory. Both options negative. He ignores it and goes on anyway. Past him is a guy called Pyofrin who creates Squidlit repellents. If I allow him to test on me, I'll get some muffins. I pass the cafe and enter the library at the end. I'm told to look for an encyclopedia called Grimoire. Down the stairs an Ooblug, that's what they're called, tells me it's in the locked magical section. But last time Squit Squat God Emperor was in there, she left the door open and 7 books have escaped. He'll open the gate if I stop them all. I have to ink on them to cover up the spell that has them flying. So there are a lot of branching paths in here, but since I have to go down them all, I just went clockwise around them all so I didn't get lost. That's about it. I go all over and ink all the floating books. Then I speak to the same Ooblug at the other side of the library so he'll open the door for me. This leads to a room with more ghosts and some floating books. I don't have to take out all of them this time though. At the end I fall into Grimoire. I bounce back out and it attacks me. It first creates a sword it tries to stab me with. Another move it has is releasing a balloon that turns out to be a bomb. Between attacks I ink it when it drops to the ground and it opens up for another attack. I'm actually supposed to just jump in and start inking all the words on its pages. Just keep that up until all words are inked up and it's defeated. The prisoner shows up and discovers that the potion Squit Squat God Emperor is brewing will cover the entire sky in a dark shell and blot out all light. But he doesn't know why she would even want to do this. The book does say that Squidlit ink will damage the potion. They then go through the door to Squit Squat God Emperor's alchemy lab. She's outside reminding the guard not to let a single Squidlit inside. I have a very long climb that the Ooblug doesn't have the energy to finish. The guard asks if I'm a Squidlet, so I tell him I'm not and get let in. In addition to the usual enemies, we also have goopy snakes roaming around too. There's a switch that opens the door, but as soon as I get off the switch it closes, so I have to lure an enemy on top of it and then ink them so they stay in place. From there I'm climbing higher and avoiding electricity. I need to ink this crane thing on top of the switch after it, but I mess up the timing and actually die. I get it next time though. What follows is even more climbing until I find 2 locked doors and a switch that only opens one of them, so I lure another enemy to the switch and ink it. Then I drop down and ink an enemy onto the next switch which opens the first locked door. I can use that first enemy to open a third door. This is followed by avoiding more lightning in a more awkward position, going upstairs. After that is the door leading to Squid Squat God Emperor. She asks me to leave, but I ask her why she's doing this. I get a non-answer before a fight starts. I have to go through the tunnel underneath Squid Squat God Emperor and jump up the other side to ink a potion before she can stop me. I try to get a bit sneaky using my post-damage invincibility to get the hits in, but it just gets me killed, so I have to do it properly. A few hits later and the potion erupts. Rather than cover the sky in darkness, it rains ink all over the place, even getting in Squid Squat God Emperor's eyes and making them sting. I have 2 choices here. I start by apologising and hugging her. She's grateful and carries Plip off to a catapult that sends him home. On my second playthrough, I instead mock her, which has her angrily grab Plip and carry him off to a catapult that sends him home. Then the credits and enemy list roll as he flies through the air. This was a short game, only around 20 minutes, but unlike Transbot, I quite enjoyed this. It's cute and irreverent, but not in an overly obnoxious memey way that a more annoying game might end up being. It also lasts just long enough, not too short that it feels like it barely started, but not too long it got old. Transbot should have taken a lesson from this game, 33 years after it came out. If this is the kind of thing you'd be into to kill half an hour, I'd say give it a try. One last thing, since I already put a bonus episode after episode 10, I'm instead going straight to episode 13 next time. Bonus episode 5 will come after episode 15.